I'm gonna close out with hip hop history. I'm gonna play a video of Young Jock talking about, how Tupac was a revolutionary.
Panther 21.
Right, exactly. That's
Panther
what Tupac
21.
was trying to tell
Right,
y'all.
right.
Tupac was trying to tell y'all that for the longest.
Right.
But y'all didn't get what Tupac was saying. Because y'all thinking Tupac too, he wasn't there. But remember, his mother was dead.
Right.
His mother was a revolution. She was installing all this in Tupac's mind.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? That's why he had the knowledge he had so early in the game. Just like we had the knowledge so early in the game. That's why I said we was young, but we had the knowledge. We was ahead of our time. Now I'm going to get into the Puerto Rican.
So we know that Tupac came from the Black Panthers, from the Black Panther tradition. His mother was a Black Panther, his father was a Black Panther, and and they, the Black Panthers, who started them, right? Huey Newton and Bobby Seals, number 2 man, and how who motivated them to start that revolutionary movement was Malcolm X. They were very big, I don't want to say followers, but they held Malcolm X in high regard, like many of us do. I mean, he got, that's a I guess I could do a whole video on that, on how he got, trapped up and led astray and all of that. But like under the Nation of Islam, he was at the greatest height. Nobody could touch him, and he had security and all of that. But anyway, that's who started the Black Panthers, and we know Malcolm X became great under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the teachers that freed Black people's minds and taught us how to organize, and taught us that God is in us because we are the original people. We the first one. We the ones made in His image. Not them, us. So they were big on the by any means necessary. That's what the Black Panther movement was based on. And with Malcolm X holding the AK, and so this is why I say Tupac is maybe one of the greatest, rappers, because, like I said, like the black man with knowledge of who he is the greatest threat to the leaders of the world at this present time, who all come from the Caucasus Mountains. We're the biggest threat. Everybody else trying to build up, and no, we preparing within our communities, the whole way of life, system, trading, all of that, and we're preparing for what's coming. Because the devil's time is not going to last. It actually was over in 1914. So that's why you see like the world, uniting, especially Africa. Burkina Faso, Niger, Black, Senegal. And what's the other one? Mali, united and working together, and soon, I see the time when you could go to Africa with one passport and travel the whole place. They're the ones who called it Africa in the first place. They're the ones who named it Africa. It's not Africa. I'm not African. That's why I don't refer to myself as African American. You know what I'm saying? I'm not American either. I'm a citizen of the universe. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have any special bond with America. You know what I mean? I got a bond with black people all over the world. That's my commitment. And that's what hip hop started on. I've shown and proven that hip hop the leaders of hip hop came from the Nation of Islam. Even Young Jack, he got knowledge himself. He studied the 5%. You have to check out that channel, YouTube channel, The Culture, since 1971. That right there is probably one of the oldest, because everybody's going back to 73 with Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash, and it was like a whole movement already, like in the hood. You know what I mean? Because like Sedgwick Avenue definitely was not the hood. It was middle class, and so anyway, it was the Bronxdale Projects, where the Black Spade started, and it started as a revolutionary movement. It wasn't a gang. They talked about in the previous video, I think it was episode 7, where it started as a movement, and the government, the media started calling it a gang. They said it started as a social club like the white boys. The white boys, they started social clubs. They don't start gangs. You know what I'm saying? And then they fancy up the word and then say gangsters. And, anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But, that's where hip-hop went to, And what happens is once it got into the hands, I'm not going to front, Africa Bambaataa is the one who took the culture package to the bankers, the people that had money. You know what I'm saying? And that probably has, understandably how he fit in with the bankers, with his lifestyle and his fetishes, But hip hop came from poverty. You know what I'm saying? Came from food, clothing, and shelter. And young men who had knowledge of self and were going to create a universe that could sustain them and create a positive way of life for their likeness. So that's what hip hop was based on. And once it got into the hands of the bankers, then they started controlling what hip hop was, just the story of hip hop, the storylines, the bitches, the hoes, the niggas. We wasn't calling ourselves niggas like that. You know what I mean? That was a West Coast thing that they brought to hip hop. And I remember Ice Cube, he was really saying it. You know what I mean? But 1969, 70, 71 hip hop. You know what I mean? Under Dave and Karate P and Blackjack, young Blackjack's big brother, and the First Division. Yo, they were serious brothers, serious leaders. They, like I said, they ran the black movement. I don't even want to say gangs, but the black gangs. You know what I'm saying? In the Bronx. So anyway, like I said, when the bank, I'll give a perfect example of how the bankers control of hip hop destroyed hip hop. I was working probably around 2000. It was 2000, 2001, something like that. I was working, at Chung King. I was working with Dead Prez, their rap group. I didn't even know who they were. I probably heard of them, because I think they had a video that was on BET playing. But Stick and M1. And the powerful brother. Stick is an amazing brother. Beautiful, strong black man. You know what I mean? An example of the revolutionary spirit. I think they're from Tallahassee, Florida. But he had me doing push-ups. You know what I mean? I was, we're gonna, I was all in the vibe. You know what I mean? But anyway, make long story short, this story, I'll probably get into that, at another point. But this story right here is talking about the control of the bankers. They were signed to Loud Music, right? So I worked in Chung King. Anybody know Chung King? Loud worked there heavy. You know what I mean? I worked with Mobb Deep there. They from Loud, Fat Joe, Cuban Links. I was there. The Cuban Links had Chris, Pun's son. What's it, Chris? I forget his rap name. And his wife. I worked this session. because they came there to, they had Pun's book, rhyme book, and they was, they was trying to get him to like write the rhymes, but he wasn't ready. Spit the rhymes. But anyway, getting back to Dead Prez, I've never met the president of Loud Records, working with all of his artists, right? Even West Coast artists, from Loud. They would come, come to Chung King. Chung King was probably the nicest studio, most exclusive studio in New York, besides the Hit Factory. Probably only second to them. Like Electric Lady, Platinum Island, a lot of them studios, they was hot, but like not like Chung King. You know what I'm saying? So it was the #1 studio. And I've been fortunate to work with the best. Like I said, I work with, Daddy's House. I worked so much working for Puffy. You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, like, he got his thing, but like I said, that's who they allow in the industry. But he's a smart guy. He just not. He just. He like I said. When he was young, he was a part of a corny dude. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't have probably hung out with him. You know what I mean? I don't know. But anyway, I never met Steve Rifkin, the king, the owner of Loud, until I was working with Dead Prez. And so it was crazy because how they came in too, now I think about it, because, Steve Rifkin and them came in and they, sat down and they wanted to listen to the, they act like they wanted to listen to like the music and all that. They come there vibing and, they playing the music, and then like track number 7, you know what I mean? Like Dead Prez sticking them had. And then one had a song called Kick in the White House Door. And it was like a revolutionary record. You ever heard of that record? Because Steve Rifkin didn't allow that to come out. Record was crazy. So he listened to the record down, and then he was like, yo, man, it sound good and all this and that. And he said, like track 7, with the Kick in the White House Door. What's that all about? You can't say that, Stick. You can't say that, Stick. You know what I mean? And then one, telling them like, yo. People could talk about killing a black man, you know what I mean, so many times on their album, you know what I mean, but I can't talk about kicking in the White House door. So anyway, that was, like I said, you never heard that record. Never came out. If it did, it probably came out underground on the mixtape. You know what I'm saying? That's why, hip hop is, there's bad messages. It's the banks, the people that got the money to sign the artists and like really push them, and and get them to the masses, and we not choosing it. The agenda is being pushed on us. Unfortunately, like I said, America is losing its power. It's losing its grip on the world because the world doesn't depend on the American dollar anymore. Like before, you had to spend the American dollar. Like everything was based on the American dollar, right? And they controlled it through the oil. But now the Saudi Arabia don't care about no America. They taking the yen, they taking the ruble, the Chinese yen, the ruble. You know what I mean? But anyway, so their whole power structure is collapsing, and so that's what's enabling artists like myself and like all of these artists that was like Redman, and I heard he just came out. I haven't had the time to listen to his album, but I'm going to. But that's 30 out. That's 32 out, 32 records. You know what I mean? So it was like I really don't even have a half hour extra time, but this week I'm gonna make time just to listen to it. You know what I mean? But that's why hip hop is where it is, but it's coming back because artists can be independent and control their destiny. You know? So anyway, I'm going to stop it here. Love, peace, and happiness.
P Funk City G.